What's up, everybody, and welcome back to A Beer a Day with TK. It's a warm one here in Findlay, Ohio, and I'm hanging out in the beer shed getting ready to check out a new beer. Now, before I get into the beer, I wanted to take a moment just to share some of the new things that I got for the beer shed. If you're unaware, I'm a bit of a sucker for accoutrements, for stuff to go around here. So you look in the background, you see all these tin tackers and different things of, I guess, essentially beer memorabilia, like my nice flight axe handle here. From Ice Tier Brewing. I love this kind of stuff, and I try to fill the shed with it. I know it's probably a bit weird, but I don't know. I enjoy being surrounded by the different things that make me think about different breweries I like, or things like I got some sports stuff here, some Phillies pictures, Flyers stuff, different things from breweries that meant a lot to me. So I'm always picking up tin tackers and the like. So I picked this one up from 50/50 Brewing. And these guys are out of Truckee, California. Now this is a little bit smaller. It's not as big as some of these tin tackers, but this thing was only $5. So I got two of them. I got one for me and the Yeti. I think these are $5 each, and it cost me about $10 in shipping for the pair of them. So for $20, I got two of them. And I think it's kind of neat. Now, I've never been to this brewery, but I'm always on the lookout for tin tackers that are affordable. A lot of times you go to breweries, these things are $30 or more. I don't really got $30 to waste, but if they're 10, 15, 5, I'm all over it. Even 20 I'll stretch here and there, but for $5 couldn't pass on it, so I got this. The other thing I picked up was this magnificent painting from Paul. You may know him from PA Brew News. He also has a channel, I think it's called PA Outdoors Couple, where he and his girlfriend go and explore Pennsylvania, which is a magnificently beautiful state. But he does a lot of artwork. He's a true Renaissance man. He is a musician, so he sent me a couple of his CDs. He does some metal music, and also he does all kinds of paintings. He actually has a shop. I forget the name of the town in Pennsylvania where he sells his artwork, but I picked this up for the shed and just wanted to show it off before, it goes up on the wall there. So, shout out to Paul. Appreciate the artwork. I know he does some saw blades too. And my address is actually Sawmill Road, so I'm going to have to buy one of the saw blades off him at some point. But these will be going up along the walls. You probably won't see them in the background, but they'll be on the side. So just wanted to show those off quickly. All right, so the beer I have today, and this is going to be a WTF Wednesday review, as it's a Wednesday. And for those who are new to the channel, WTF Wednesday is a one day a week when I showcase a beer I normally wouldn't. So this means I do stuff from the big boys like Bud Miller and Coors. Sometimes I do interesting offerings from microbreweries, and I've also been trying to get some passport stamps in by doing international beers. This kind of crosses a number of those categories. So this is a Canadian beer, which is interesting, made by the Shawn and Ed Brewing Company. I've never heard of them. Maybe they're a macro in Canada, but I'm unaware. And it's a salted lime Cerveza. So I'd say it's at least international. Maybe an interesting offering from a microbrewery, depending on how big this brewery is. Yeah, so it's pretty cool. Now, I will say, salted lime generally ain't my thing. I'm not a big lime fan, although I just did the double lime Bud Light, and surprisingly liked it more than I thought that I would. So maybe, I don't know, maybe I'm turning around to lime, or maybe that one was just not as terrible as I'd expected. Now these guys are out of Dundas, Dundas, or Dundas, I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing it wrong, Ontario, Canada. And the Ginger Yeti and I picked this up when we were up in Brantford, Ontario, Canada, visiting our friend Brew Watts from Beer for Breakfast, Facts for Snacks, as well as Watts on the Grill. So big shout out to the Ginger Yeti. Ginger Yeti Road Beers was up there. He drove the entire trip. He's a trooper, and he picked these up, so appreciate it, my brother. Now this, like I said, is a salted lime Cerveza, 4.0 ABV. Ratings-wise, does surprisingly good, 3.76 on Untappd, with 317 check-ins, so relatively small sample size. A beer advocate of 3.54 with one check-in. Here's all I want to know. Who did a check-in and said 3.54? Not 3.5, not 3, 3.54. Someone did that. Shame on whoever did that. So, oh my God, ton of carbonation going on in there. Nice big old head on this one. Now, as I said, I'm switching up a bit. I'll go in for the nose first, as Rod J gave the Yeti some advice, and I'm going to follow it. Now, the one thing I'll note, this thing looks like damn champagne. Look at those bubbles. That's absurd. That's the most carbonated beer I've ever seen in my life. That's insane. Nose. I gave it the Yeti and just schneefed it up. Decent lime smell, not overpowering, not gross. I'll give it that. Now, the carbonation, I really can't get over that. I've never seen a beer this carbonated. I don't even know if I can get it close enough for y'all to see it, but that's insane. That's like champagne bubbles times a million. I mean, it's literally, wow. I'm tempted to just watch it and see if they eventually end. That's literally the most carbonated beer. I've been drinking beer since I was like in 8th grade, dude. This is the most bubbles I've ever seen in a damn beer. Now, I will say this. The head, magnificent. Got a finger and a half, white frothy head. Looks pretty smooth. Doesn't look like it's going anywhere. That's magnificent. Maybe it's being propped up by all these bubbles. That's crazy. I wish I had another... wish I had the cell phone out here with me, my backup phone, so I could kind of see these bubbles, because it's absolutely nuts. It just doesn't stop. It's a constant cascade of bubbles. Really fine bubbles, but it's just non-stop. That's nuts. Wow. Well, I guess we'll give it a shot. Like I said, it smells all right. Lime. Not much else. Let's give it a shot. Cheers. First thing, you pick up the salt right away. So this is supposed to be salted lime Cerveza, and I get it. It's kind of a play on, obviously, if you get something like a Corona, Mexican-style beer, you go to a Mexican restaurant or Mexico or somewhere, they put the lime on the rim. What I'd always heard was traditionally the lime was to prevent any kind of funk that might be on the rim of the bottle. So the lime, at least the theory is the acid in the lime would kill anything that might be on there. I suspect that's probably more urban legend than truth, but kind of interesting. You pick up the salt right away. It's not a very strong salt taste. Like, you know, you get salt in a goza, but it's kind of like, usually for me, the salt's more at the back end on a goza, and it kind of complements the flavors. You do get some saltiness kind of right up front. Then it kind of gives way to, honestly, a bit of funkiness. It's kind of weird. Saltiness up front, giving way to what I assume is supposed to be the lime taste, but it's not a strong lime flavor. It's more like a subdued lime mixed with whatever the malt is. But and that I don't really have a problem with. And now I'll be up front and say salted lime Cerveza, probably not my favorite thing in the world, but I can be objective and say, like, this is where it fits in, or this is what it does. This is a little bit discombobulated for me, man. You get salt, you get lime, but it's not a strong lime taste. It's not even really like a nice natural lime taste. It's just kind of like, it's there. Now, again, as not a lime fan, I'm happy it's a bit subdued. You get a bit of a light, it's almost like a crackery malt taste with lime and salt. But none of them are strong enough to actually pull this off, in my opinion. I just surprisingly gave the Bud Light like I thought it was okay. The Bud Light double lime, I thought was okay. I thought I was going to hate it, but it was all right. This, I'm not a fan of this. I mean, it does fairly well on the ratings, but for me, it's not doing a lot. Now, again, 4%, it's supposed to be a sessionable, probably summer beer. Again, Mexican-style Cerveza with a bit of lime. You're out in the sun, having some fun. You want something a little lighter, a little maybe more citrusy or enjoyable. I'm not sure this really does it. To me, you really don't get a lot of nice beer flavor. You really don't get a lime that does lime, and the salt is up front and kind of weird. I don't hate this. Like, it's not a drain board, but it's certainly something I would not buy again. Now, I picked this up at the beer store. Like I said, I don't know, it's probably like maybe $2 or $3 or something. Like, you picked them out of a case and filled up a case of whatever you wanted. So I didn't expect it to be a barn burner or anything great, but it's a bit underwhelming for me. LagerShed Salted Lime Cerveza. Would I drink this again? No, I wouldn't. Surprisingly, I hate to admit this, I would rather have that Bud Double Lime than this, which is shocking. So I don't ever want to admit I prefer a Bud product over literally anything. But this one's a miss for me. This would be a thumbs down. I don't really care for this. Now, I see they do a number of other beers, and I wish I picked up a few of the others just to see what else they do. I'd never heard of the Shawn and Ed Brewery, and, admittedly, this is not a style that I would generally seek out. I picked it for WTF Wednesday because I thought it was a little bit different, but not a big fan. I wish I picked up some of their others just as a point of comparison. Because it could be this is just a beer that I don't enjoy the style, or maybe it's not a good version of the style, or maybe it's a shit brewery. I don't know. If I'd had one or two of the others, maybe you'd say, hey, they make some good beers, but I didn't care for this one. So it's a bit of a mixed bag for me because I don't really know what to think of this. Not a fan of the beer, and I won't say I dislike the brewery because I didn't try any of their other offerings. So, kind of is what it is. So for me, thumbs down on the beer. It's not quite a drain pour, but I certainly wouldn't buy it again. And even if someone gave it to me, I probably wouldn't want another one. So, that is what it is. If you've had one of these, let me know what you think about it. I'm really interested to see if others have tried this. I think Untappd, there's only 317 check-ins, so the odds of maybe some of the Canadian viewers have seen it, but the rest of you guys, probably not a huge chance you had it. I'm still thrilled to be able to try it. I mean, my goal is try every beer in the world, get as many check-ins on Untappd as I can. Some are Hall of Fame, some suck, some are in between. It is what it is. It's a thrill to try it. Hopefully you liked the video. If you do, give me a thumbs up, hit that like button. If you want to see more videos like this, please hit subscribe. And as always, if you got any comments or questions, jump in down below. Have you had LagerShed Salted Lime Cerveza? Let me know what you think about it. Are there any other beers from Shawn and Ed Brewing I should be looking out for? Because, I'm not too far from Canada. I could drive up to Windsor again. And maybe I need to pick up some new Canadian beers and give them another try. So, if you got anything else you can recommend from these guys, let me know down below. Till next time, cheers.